they look like limes.
Oh,
Somebody put limes in the vine
oh,
next to the
geez.
coconuts.
And
Okay.
that's
Okay.
awesome. Well, we are now live.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. So
Awesome. So,
I have to watch my P's and Q's now.
yeah, P's and Q's and dot the I's, cross the T's.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, welcome all Becker wine enthusiasts to another beautiful evening of amazing wines for this beautiful, lovely virtual tasting experience that we're celebrating 5th year of this virtual series. It's outstanding to have this opportunity to join with y'all, to taste through these wines, to share stories with you guys, and we just really, really appreciate y'all. So with this lineup, we wanted to do kind of an abbreviated Riedel tasting experience with some outstanding library wines that we have available. So tonight we'll be tasting our 2015 Prairie Rotie, our 2014 Tempranillo Reserve, and our 2012 Canada Family Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve. So want to introduce everybody this evening. So Dr. Richard Becker, thank you so much for joining us again for a lovely evening of these amazing wines. Then we have John Leahy, our winemaker that created these amazing wines that are still lasting after all these years and just tasting just as beautifully. Then we have Will Becker joining us from Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining with us. And then Nicole Bentley, our marketing director and public relations, and then myself, Bobby Totten, the wine club director. Sorry,
No
role
longer
reversal.
e-commerce.
I know, just after saying it so long. But thank y'all so much. And Dr. Becker, if you want to share a few words before we get into the tasting, love to hear from you, sir.
So this is 5 years, and we began this 5 years ago as a tribute to all the people that were fighting the COVID battle, all the medical people protecting us, defending us, and just to let them know that a little bit of a celebration of life and a salute to them. And tonight I feel the same way, but I want to say it slightly differently. I want to thank Senator Cory Booker for his 25 hours of discussion and entreaty to not lose what we've gained in medicine in the last century in our country or two. As he said, this is not liberal or conservative. This is not Republican or Democrat. This is about what's right, period. And just the idea that we would lose the ability to provide care to people who need it, who need Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security in the name of tax cuts, it's just not right. We cannot let that happen. And I just want to, this is a tribute to him. And he began talking about John Lewis, and my brother Robert has just given me recently a biography of John Lewis, which is a great read. And he was a very courageous person, and he talked about making good trouble. And we need a little good trouble in our country right now. And it needs to be in the name of taking care of our whole country. We can't just take care of those who are doing well. Anyway, I'm not being overstating this, but it means a lot to me. And anyway, and John, beautiful wine. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to wholeheartedly agree with you. I watched a fair portion of Mr. Booker's time there on his filibuster, and it was wonderful to watch. To be quite frank. But I also wanted to mention that, so 5 years ago when we started this, we were doing one bottle, well, we did 3 bottles a week, but one a night. We did 3 times a week until harvest of 2020. Well, that first 2 months, I saved all of the leftover bottles into a 5-gallon carboy and made vinegar. It's still aging in the garage, and I'm getting ready to bottle it. So,
but now we'll have Becker vinegars.
Well, not at the winery, we won't, with all that live culture. But yeah, no, it's tasting actually really good. I've used a little tiny amount of it cooking, so it's absolutely fantastic. But and I hate saying that because we went through a lot of really good wines, and I took, like there was like that much left in the bottle of each, and I just poured in there. So
I expect that barrel up in the winery somewhere, Nicole, and we'll go around and taste it. And we'll say, "My God, we need to bottle this," and that'll be fun. So we're going to start
hey,
with Prairie Rotie, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
the Prairie Rotie. I have mine in a Syrah glass, Bobby. Why do you have yours in a New World Pinot?
Yeah, because it actually should have been in a Syrah glass because it is more of those Rhone varietals in there.
Right.
But initially, that's kind of what we've done at the winery is this or
Sure.
Counoise.
So I'm just impressed that you gave me this glass and it made it home in one piece.
I'm very impressed too, and all of your bottles as well.
Yeah. Oh, no dropping this week.
Awesome.
Man.
So this 15 Rotie we had for quite a while in the tasting room, and just the
Right.
expression over the years has just kind of gone through a whole litany of different flavor profiles and expressions that have showcased through this.
Mm-hmm.
This right now, I think it's beautiful still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You know,
think
I'm
on
gonna-
that particular, oops, sorry.
But I
Oh,
think
go ahead.
this is Will's picture on the cover, isn't it?
There's a bit of family resemblance there, yes.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Oh.
There was, I think also in this vintage, we also had increased production on it too. I think prior to that, the amount was in smaller quantities, and on this we decided
Mhm.
to expand our Prairie Rotie program. But I think it's always been a delicious wine. And I think it's also one of those, like if you're having different groups of people over and you're not sure, like, you know, your friends, but sometimes there can be wines where you're not sure if they like light, medium, or full bodied. And I think this is always a great one to start off on, but then it's also a wonderful one with a meal, of course, too.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to all three of these wines. I'm having shepherd's pie again tonight, and it's being made with leftover roast beef and leftover ribeye instead of lamb. So shh, don't tell anybody.
You need to
Wow.
put
I saw a picture on somebody's social media last time when it was made, and it looks outstanding.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm incapable of making mashed potatoes for 3 people. I always make mashed potatoes for 40. So
Isn't
Jody's
that
like,
called
yeah,
Irish
she's like,
guacamole?
there's a lot of leftover mashed potatoes. And I was like, well, we don't want to starve.
Right. Well, it's called Irish guacamole, right?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Irish guacamole. Oh, well,
Wow. So I know 15 was an outstanding year. I know
Mhm.
we had 2 wines that had won double gold at San Francisco International Wine Competition that year, and that was
Yep.
the Canada and Wilmouth Cabs,
Right.
which
Yep.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, this and Nicole was right. That was the year that we started expanding the program. When I got here in 2012, we were making 56, almost 57,000 cases, and by 2016 we were 106,000. So, you know, we were on a heck of a growth spurt. Yeah, trust me. Every harvest was more and more and more. But the wonderful thing about this 2015 is that was also the year we started getting a little more diverse Rhone varietals into the winery. We had not quite gotten the Counoise yet, but that would be the next year. But yeah, and I thought the Counoise added an extra layer, but this one, when I first decanted it, Bobby, it was the nose on it was brilliant. So thank you for bringing this out of the cellar.
You're very welcome. We have probably about maybe 6 cases left of it down in the library. So
Mhm.
it's fun to kind of bring it out and say, hey, look, he's still alive.
Not just
You know-
live, it's
Right.
fabulous. It smells like an old French wine. It's got lovely cedar and sort of forest floor, but the red notes are great. The stewed strawberry
Yeah.
and can't do the spices. Carolyn, help me out here. There's a great sort of cooking spice on it that is fabulous. It's got minerality, earthiness. It's got great fruit. I think it's hitting on all cylinders. It's beautiful.
And the tannins are holding up wonderfully.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did we talk about the blend in the 15 about what the components are?
No, we have not talked about it because I left my blend comp book at the winery.
Uh-huh.
This is not on our new software. This predates the software. However, we may have, hold on. Yours truly started putting stuff in for the previous blends.
I might have it on our platform.
Just a second. Yeah, I think I've got it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a pretty large component of Mourvèdre, some Carignan. There's a little bit of Barbera and a little bit of Merlot in there. So it's not a true 100% Rhone. That would have been 2016 would be the first year that we did that. But the 2015 marked the first full year after the 2013 freeze that we got 100% of the crop in. 2014, we got about half of what we're, which made perfect sense considering when we got those late freezes and what they did to the dormant buds versus the active buds. And then 2016 was also when we brought in the Cinsault, the Cunwall, we had more Syrah to deal with. And there is some Syrah on this one too. And I don't think I'm looking at that blend comp. I've got to go back and look at the actual blend comp that I wrote down, my notes from the blending to see if I entered it correctly. It would not be beyond me to not enter it correctly, but just saying. I'm not infallible. I know that's hard to believe.
So I'm seeing that there is possibly some Barbera from the Peters Prairie's vineyard in here.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there's a little bit of the Barbera from Peters Prairie in there. Yeah. So, I used to tease Doc. I was like, I don't know where you got your medical degree, but I got mine from Google. So
Google affordable.
oh my goodness. The nose on that is really good.
So there's a cool, almost like a eucalyptus or menthol note that kind of
Yes.
is
Yeah,
on the finish.
there is. Yeah. Well, Kent, it's always good to hear from you. I did want to kind of take Betty and Jeff to task because I don't see them on the trip for this coming fall.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, man. Jody in the background just said it's not going to be as much fun without them. So also, I didn't see Charles Gage on there.
No, But I did see Kent possibly for next year in Burgundy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Burgundy's going to be a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
Cardamom is what Carolyn, Callan, do you know her? She's suggesting cardamom, Bobby,
Yes.
or Will. I guess you were asking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Betty Brace just put peer pressure. Yes, Betty, that's what it means. I'm not trying to make you do drugs. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, Felicia Banks Johnson just put the quote you were looking for, Doc. Speak up, speak out, and get in the way. Get in trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. John Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a hell of a statesman. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what Cory Booker, sorry. Cory Booker ended his 25-hour speech with that quote from John Lewis. Man, anybody else want to add anything about the Prairie Rotie?
You should
Will?
buy it. It's fabulous.
Mhm.
It is.
Okay, Nicole, what would you pair with this?
I would
Hot seat
say,
moment.
I'm gonna say quail, like a stuffed mushroom,
Okay,
mushroom rice quail.
sweet, nice. Bobby?
I would have to say probably a nice risotto. Probably
Yeah.
truffle risotto. Yeah.
Okay.
My mom made
Will,
some of
any,
that last week.
I
It
was
was
gonna
really
say,
good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say some sort of mushroom pasta, but mushroom risotto would be fabulous with this.
yeah,
Also
it would.
with the cheese plate, this is so great. I just want to enjoy this. It's gonna be great with food, but it's just got so many layers, so much going on the bottom. It's fabulous. So
Gonna go out on a limb and say black-eyed peas and cornbread.
Just me, always.
Or black-eyed pea hummus.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
There's a couple of restaurants that are starting to do that now. I think that's
Are
kind of
they?
fun. Using
Really?
some different
Yeah.
beans. Yeah.
oh, how about this? Gnocchi, mascarpone, Parmesan. So you make the gnocchi with pumpkin or any other dry firm flesh pumpkin, a little flour, Parmesan Reggiano, nutmeg, and then the sauce is shallots, butter, mascarpone cheese, again, Parmesan Reggiano, salt and pepper to
Wow.
taste. That would go well with this wine.
that would go well with most things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Sonoma County Bounty Cookbook. Yeah, and our very good friend Kim Grove from Chicago gave us this back in 2004.
Huh. Wow.
Doc, any additions?
Tempranillo is not bad.
Oh, okay, we're going to the Tempranillo now.
No. Here we go.
I did want to
Oh.
mention, share with our Facebook friends that, we were talking about the different Riedel glasses that we're tasting from. There's, you've heard of the family, the Riedel family that started in 1746, making all kinds of glassware. And then you have Klaus Riedel he was a wine drinker. And so he wanted to make the perfect glass for his beverage, which is the Pinot Noir glass that you see with the ridge top. I had always thought that was a new style, but it's actually the first one. But the next generation, Georg had wanted to make a varietal specific glass. And so he invited some different winemakers to come out, taste through several different wines in several different glasses to pick the best glass for the wine. But with that being said, with a varietal specific glass, Riedel's not going to slap your hands on it. They want you to be able to try the wines in the glass and see what you like best. So even if it's not what is recommended, you're not going to get in trouble for picking a different glass, because the bottom line is you want to be able to enjoy the wine that you're trying. So I just wanted to share that. So if some of you are worried that you had the wrong glass, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with different ones to see if you might like something a little different. But Riedel is all about not about a beautiful glass. They actually want it to be a great vessel for you to consume your wine in.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I really, really like doing those Riedel tastings with the glass rep, in November when we do that for the charity event. It's been very interesting, to say the least.
Great.
A shout out to Yvonne Garcia. Welcome, welcome.
How's it going, Yvonne?
Okay, what do you guys get on the nose of this Tempranillo?
When I was probably 14, before I could get a real job, my dad had me build him a cedar closet to put wine in, and he kept his cigars in there. And once he had got the cedar up and the cigars in, this is what it smelled like. Cedar cigar, and there's sort of fig, maybe dried, but it's cedar and cigar, dried fig for me.
Mhm.
It's lovely.
Nice. Yeah. Nicole, what do you get on the nose?
Pick up also some like some dates.
Mhm.
And they're not quite like full on dried dates. Also kind of like a mixed wildberry characteristic. There's a tail hint of like vanilla, but it's very, very subtle. And little light notes of spice. And typically we don't have a dusty minerality on our Texas Tempranillos, but this one almost has like little hints of that as well.
Mhm.
Oof. I forgot to remember I have to go after Nicole. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Bobby, anything to
Yeah.
add?
Definitely a little bit of a molasses, but vanilla bean, little bit of dried cherry. But it's gorgeous. And then that cedar is definitely coming through. I'm definitely getting that cedar, which is really cool.
Mhm. Alma is saying that she enjoys the Tempranillo so much lighter and nice to sip over conversation with friends. I have to agree with you, especially if that conversation is, don't worry, the fire's not that hot. Oh.
So this 14 Tempranillo has got to be my favorite wine that we've had. One of my favorite
Mhm.
wines of the years that we've had at the winery, and to be able to taste this now and to see how well it's holding up and still so expressive, it's just outstanding.
Yes.
It also took a little while to open up. Usually
Yeah,
in your
it did.
older wines,
Yeah.
it doesn't take as long. So I thought that was really cool that it's showing quite a youthfulness on the palate in the
It is, and
aromatics across the palate.
if you really look at it, there's not a lot of oxidation on the meniscus either. It's still pretty bright red. So
What was the first year we made a Tempranillo?
What was the first year?
Yeah, I don't, we not too many before this.
Russell made some, I think. And do you remember, Nicole? Things like
He did make a couple right before John started. I remember y'all having the discussion about that was one of the wines at that time he had never worked with before. It was a Tempranillo. I want to say it was maybe like either 2010 or 2011, something like
I
that.
agree, or 9, maybe. Yeah. So about then, I think we'll,
Hmm.
but they weren't this good.
This is beautiful.
yeah,
I
HF
noticed
family. Nice.
our first Tempranillos were either on the earthy side or they were on the fruit forward side. And then probably about this 2014, it seemed like we started getting where it was both. You had both of an earthiness and fruit forward notes together,
Mhm.
and it stayed it has stayed consistent since then. It's something that
Mhm.
I've noticed over the period of time.
So would this one, this Tempranillo, would that be from Dusty Evans or?
Yes, it had quite a bit of Mr. Evans fruit
Yeah.
in there. Yeah. Yeah.
There's also a little bit of saddle leather to this too. A little bit.
As long as you don't say sweaty saddle leather, we're okay.
There's a difference, that's for sure.
I think
First time I read that in a wine magazine, it blew me out of the water. I was like, how do you know what sweaty saddle leather tastes like? So,
John
you were,
side,
I'm sorry?
side saddle. Leather.
Side saddle.
Wine saddle,
Side.
Oh, wine saddle.
No,
side saddle.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go first on the food pairing for this because I would pair it with a chocolate omelet with blueberries in Tempranillo sauce.
Holy moly.
There's no reason not to be decadent for breakfast. Plus, I mean, look at the picture of that.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. It does say Pinot Noir sauce, but who wants Pinot when you can have wine?
Bobby's gonna list his address in the notes, by the way, y'all, and we'll all go to his house.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, yeah.
He
It's okay. I have a 17-pound guard tiger out in the front yard. So
I think I'd
might
love to
just
have it
save his
with,
claws for you, though.
yeah. Oh,
What was that, Will?
I like Gary Clark's idea, but I would go with John Shepherd's pie or rack of lamb. So
ooh, rack of lamb would be great with
Yeah.
this Tempranillo. Yeah, no doubt.
On Sunday, we had a little bit of a skirt steak with a truffle salt, just kind
Ooh.
of just sprinkled over, it, very simple.
Uh-huh.
And it
I
was
wanna be in your
grilled.
kitchen. Holy cow.
But that, I think this would go really well with that.
How about you,
Felicia,
sir?
I actually really like Pinot Noir too. I just like giving people who are Pinot producers a hard time. So, and my assistant winemaker currently, Remy, is a big Pinot fan. So I always like, well, you can have Pinot if you can't have real wine. So, it's just a way of teasing somebody about their wine. Yeah, truffle salt. Yes, truffle salt is a real thing. Oh,
And it absorbs differently than if you're using truffles and oil. It
Yeah.
seems like it really absorbs up in oil really fast, but
mhm.
it's a little more subtle with the salt, not so overpowering.
You know what's really great is you can take like a half-gallon jar and layer it with eggs and a couple of black truffles, seal the jar and leave them in there for about 2 weeks in the fridge. Take them out. The eggs, the truffle essence has absorbed through the shell into the egg. Make
Oh,
scrambled
wow.
eggs with that or a souffle or whatever. It's a great way to add truffle
Okay.
flavor. Yeah, wonderful. Also, make pasta with those eggs and you have a great pasta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Here's a reason I'm overweight.
My brother Robert has just landed.
Nice.
Hi,
nice.
Robert.
Hey, Robert.
You're
Hey,
talking
Robert.
about expected you to be on the stream tonight. This is our 5th anniversary stream. He said he's sorry to hear it, but
Oh. Yeah.
I tried to get him last time, but he said he was traveling. So
well, yeah, I know he travels a lot. It's just All right, see you in a bit. Bye.
awesome. Well, glad they're safe.
So Will,
Yeah, I'm glad they landed safe and sound.
He had the
that's
O'Hare
great.
Experience airport at 6:30, and then and the airplane at the gate for 3 or 4 hours, and then a crew change, and then pushed back, and then came back because of lightning, and just arrived. Supposed
We've
to be
all
here.
been there.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
I know.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I think shall we do a little Canada Cab here from 12?
Yes, absolutely.
John, while we move on, do we do any of our rosés from Tempranillo?
Yes, we do.
No.
Yeah, Tempranillo makes a great rosé, direct press more so than Saignée. So there's a little bit of the direct press Tempranillo in some of the previous Jolies, but the direct press actually for the Tempranillo went into the Primavera, the 23 Primavera, and then we did have it in the 22 Jolie, and then in the current Saignés have some of the Tempranillo juice in there. But Tempranillo makes a beautiful rosé. Not probably as good as Mourvedre and Grenache and Syrah, but it's still up there.
Wonderful.
And this cab is starting to open up.
Boy,
A little brown on the meniscus, but this is 2012. It's holding up pretty well.
I don't think too bad.
Yeah. We get a salinity in the nose a little bit.
Yeah.
What
just a
what do
little
you get in the nose there, Nicole?
I get actually, I don't want to use the word fresh raspberries because it's aged a while, but it's almost
Sure.
got that fresh raspberry characteristic. I also pick up a little bit of dark chocolate and maybe a slight amount of espresso and tobacco.
Nice.
I was immediately greeted with like black tea.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was just outstanding, and then definitely get a little bit of that raspberry note, and then a little bit of that bell pepper. The pyrazine is still kind of
Oh, yeah.
fresh there.
It is. The pyrazine is still there. Yeah.
And I feel
There's
like the
still
espresso note was more like something you tasted rather than picked up on the aromatics. It was more of a texture on that.
I'm getting herbaceousness here, like cooking herb.
How about a little bit of peppermint?
Mm,
Yeah, there's a
I
little
would see that.
little menthol in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm also getting something like summer savory.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sage.
I'm thinking more savory than sage, but yeah,
Okay.
that's just me. That's just me. That doesn't mean it's yeah.
So Faye Johnson saying Chef Johnson is making chicken Vesuvio this evening.
That
Oh.
sounds really good.
Yeah.
I hope they're doing okay with all the fires nearby. Hope they're in a safe spot.
Yeah, out there in North Carolina.
Yeah. I know there's been some people that have had to evacuate or just kind of move to a different spot. I think there was like different wind changes as there can be and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, Kent, to answer your question, it's not quite 100%. There's 4% of the Canada Malbec in that blend. But it's all Canada vineyards. Oh, you know what? This is one of my favorite cookbooks. Irish traditional cooking. Irish stew. I'm gonna go with it.
Irish stew.
Yeah, the Balmeo Irish stew, they use lamb shoulder instead of beef.
With Irish soda bread, I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, and I swear to you, if you ever put currants or raisins in your soda bread, you're not making soda bread. Just saying. Soda bread does not have currants or raisins in it.
No.
One of my favorite things in the entire world, we were in Ireland. Jody and I were in Ireland. We were at the castle. I cannot remember the name of it. It's
There's
where
only
the Blarney Stone is. And there's a little village there, the little living history village. And I started smelling. I was like, do you smell that? And Jody's like, for the millionth time, no, what are you smelling? And I was like, I can smell soda bread and wood smoke. So we found this little cottage, and this woman was making soda bread over a peat fire. And she invited us in to see what was going on. And then she offered me some, and Jody's like, please don't feed him. And she's like, why? And I was like, she's like, he will never leave if you feed him. Oh,
Oh, it's great. Betty
Oh.
Chu, it's an honor to be able to share this with y'all. It really is.
yeah. Yeah, Betty, absolutely. Oh,
My friend Lewis is on. Good to see you, Lewis.
nice. Wait a minute, you have friends?
Yeah, I do.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't, I swear.
She likes to be in the tasting.
Oh, that's so cool.
So this Cabernet, non-traditional pairing, what would you do? In other words, you can't say steak.
Okay.
Okay, Bobby, what would you do?
Oh man. I think a grilled portobello mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette,
Mhm.
and then just a little kind of wilted spinach.
Right on. Will, what do you think?
Well, I will say honestly, the chef in our dining hall does that at least once a week, and they're fabulous. I was thinking my mom used to make a stuffed bell pepper stuffed with ground beef, and
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that would be awesome with this.
Yeah, I love stuffed bell peppers.
Me too.
Nicole.
I was thinking along the lines with peppers as well, like a stuffed poblano.
Mhm.
There was a place in Austin I had been at that kind of did a non-traditional, or maybe a more interior style. But you can use beef, you can actually use lamb if you wanted to. And I think they also had used some rice. Um, and then they also had added a little bit of like white raisins in their mixture, and some currants. And it was just a fun, but it wasn't sweet. It was all on the savory side, but it was just a really fun combination with like a light cream sauce with that.
Yeah, so the 2012 Cabernet, I would, I was really thinking short ribs, but then it just struck me, Italian sausage, bell peppers, and mushrooms on pasta. Very simple. And I think it would do beautifully.
Agree. Dr. Becker, how about you, sir?
I would say wonderful bread and wonderful butter. And
Ooh, don't say that really loud. My mother likes to have butter, lots of butter.
the right cheese. There's some great.
2012. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's
See,
be my choice.
the French
like
palate
bread
just
with
said
my
that I
butter.
did a horrible job on this wine. I might be putting words into his mouth.
I was just mentioning to Doc, I do like bread with my butter, so it's
Right? It's a great carrier for the butter. Nice.
so I
Carolyn,
do.
we'll be having homemade rolls, of course.
Oh, got to. My
Yeah.
goodness.
German chocolate truffle and an Ashton ESG torpedo. Yeah, again, that's not going to be a bad choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's up for next week, Bobby?
So next week, since we're kind of in the middle of springtime, I wanted to kind of go with lighter body wines and just kind of keep everything bright. And some of our outstanding distribution wines that we haven't, showcased recently. So we've got a 2024 Sauvignon Blanc, which is outstanding
Ooh.
right now.
Nice.
2023 Saignée, and then the 2022 GSM. So those three
Nice.
will be on for next week.
That's awesome.
But also, since we were showcasing the Riedel glasses, I know Nicole had mentioned about the form of what the Riedel glasses that they do. I mean, their motto is that their glass is basically a carrier or a messenger for the wine. So they want to give you the best expression of that fruit as possible. So if you haven't gotten a pack of Riedel glasses, I did put it in the comment section, but also we do host Riedel glass tastings at the winery. So there is a link to go ahead and book a date. Anytime you'll want to come out, Nicole and myself, we do host those, and they're super fun and very informative. And it's
They are.
such an experience.
Fantastic.
So let's see. But I know, yeah, they're just beautiful. And then got in here Burgundy for 2026. So if you haven't
Mhm.
up for the flavors of Burgundy, that is available. And then
Yeah.
Lavender Fest is in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Can't-
yes, it is. Yeah, just
Can't
about
even
3 weeks.
believe
Yeah,
it.
I know. This year's going by fast.
It's-
Also, we'll be announcing the 2027 cruise here fairly soon.
That's right. That's right. And all of those wine club members out there that came out this last week, really appreciate y'all coming out for the member soiree, this Sunday soiree.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Beautiful time, wonderful band. Dr. Becker, thank you so much for bringing that band out. They were outstanding. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was lovely to see everybody enjoy, everybody having fun out there, enjoying the property. So we will do some more of those in the future, and looking forward to hosting y'all at the winery.
That's awesome, Bobby.
You
You're
bet.
doing a great job. So, and thank you for all of these wonderful picks you keep coming up with. So,
Cheers.
It's hard not to. Well,
cheers.
y'all.
Cheers.
We'll see
We'll see
y'all.
everybody next week.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thank y'all.